Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Fabric Tech Talk Fridays. I'm your host, Swetha Mannepalli. Today, it's going to be very, very special because we are bringing one of our own from Microsoft to talk about how we are helping our customers in their Fabric journey. Now, before we get into all the goodness that we want to unpack as part of this session, Stephen, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Yeah, I'm happy to and excited to be here. My name is Stephen Helwig, and I work for Microsoft as a general manager in our customer success teams. And I've been at Microsoft for over a decade now, all in a customer success function. So I'm super excited to be here with you and tell you a little bit about what success is and what we do for our customers to help them onboard to Fabric.
I would love to learn more about how you are helping customers in their successful journey. But before that, I want to learn about your journey.
Sure.
It is super inspirational to see where how you traverse through all the different roles and where you are today serving as a general manager. Please share where you started, what made you become who you are today.
Oh, thank you. No, that's great. So I actually started, like I said, 10 years ago as what we call cloud solution architects. And I'll talk a little bit more about that role here soon and share a little bit more with you on what they do. But I started as a senior cloud solution architect. We're here in Atlanta, and I was based here in Atlanta, serving Atlanta-based customers and engaging with them in the early days of Azure. What was Windows Azure, even when I started, as we transitioned into Microsoft Azure. And so I spent time, what we say in the field with our customers for 4 years, becoming a principal cloud solution architect, eventually becoming what we know as a CSA manager.
Mhm.
And then 5 years ago, I moved into our corporate teams to be accountable for the strategy of how our CSAs globally operate. And so now I have the opportunity to lead a global team of technical architects. Some of them are here with us today,
Wonderful.
who help shape how the rest of the architects engage with our customers. It's a
Perfect.
really exciting job, and I really love to serve in this capacity.
Wonderful. I started my journey as a senior cloud solution architect. So, again, like I said, super inspirational.
Awesome.
What does customer success unit really means, and
Yeah.
how is it differentiated
Yeah.
with all the other programs that we have going at Microsoft?
Yeah, I think that's it's a great question, and it's probably the area that maybe folks don't know as much about. Of course, everybody knows about engineering, and they probably engage with our sales teams if you're in an enterprise customer. But our customer success unit is made up of two primary resources. One, as I mentioned earlier, is a cloud solution architect, and I'll probably spend the most time there.
Mhm.
We also have our customer success account managers, and they're accountable for helping not only in ensuring customers have the right support, but also in helping them as they're onboarding to all of the Microsoft technology. And so those are the two roles. But the way customer success differentiates is in a couple different ways. And first is technical depth. You were a CSA, I was a CSA. We have other cloud solution architects here, and these are the deepest technical resources that serve our customers, making sure that they understand how our products work and making sure that when they come onto the platform, they're doing so in a resilient and secure and well optimized manner. And so we have thousands of cloud solution architects across nearly every continent that are
Mhm.
engaged with our customers on a daily basis. They also build and bring industry best practices. So they bring industry best practices directly to our customers, but they also are the ones helping deploy some of the workloads for the first time. And so then they're building those repeatable assets and bringing them back into Microsoft Docs or directly to our partners or directly to our customers. And that's part of my accountability in my team. Like our team is responsible for those best practices. And then lastly, we do joint delivery. So, whether you're a partner or whether through our Cloud Accelerate Factory, or whether the customer is building the solution on our own, our CSAs will come alongside them and ensure the success of that onboarding into the platform. So those are the three ways.
Perfect. So, like a technical advisor for a customer.
Absolutely, yeah. Trusted advisor is the thing we say internally.
Wonderful.
Our job is to be the trusted advisor for the customer. That when things go wrong, they feel like they have somebody that can help them through it, and make sure that we set them in a position where it doesn't go wrong.
That's amazing. So, we talked about the differentiators, but what are the things that you offer as part of this CSU program,
Yeah.
Stephen? Because I know there are multiple things that you can do. For example, customers could be on their Azure data services, which are our own product portfolio, but they want to modernize and move to one of our newer stack.
Sure.
But what are the things that you offer as part of this program?
Yeah, and we'll get into some of the service details a little later, but I'll just talk really around the two core things that folks or three core things that folks probably experience.
Hmm.
One part of the role is actually training and upskilling. And so if you work for a large company that's ever had maybe Microsoft come in and conduct a workshop where you do a 2-day workshop of onboard of learning the platform, getting hands-on with the platform, that's one of the things that we do. But the other thing that I'll talk about is our Cloud Accelerate Factory, which is probably a little bit less known. And that's something that we started in our corporate team 5 years ago to help customers on their migration journey to Azure. And we actually started with SQL Server at the time, right? We saw that customers were doing quite a lot of assessments, but they weren't actually getting to migration. And so we built this free service to help customers migrate to SQL. And since then, it has expanded greatly. It now not only covers Azure, but it actually covers our security solutions and even our modern work solutions like Copilot Studio, for instance. And so Cloud Accelerate Factory is this service that we've built over the last 5 years to do zero cost deployment assistance.
That's great.
So if you, hey, I have 1,000 SQL servers, I need to get migrated into Azure. Our factory team will come in and help you migrate those. Or hey, I want to establish a medallion architecture in Fabric. We can come in and help you get that set up. And then part of that is we actually do this through industry best practices and repeatable accelerators that my team builds. And so we've built a lot of assets. We'll share some of those with you a little bit later. But we've built a lot of assets over the last 5 years to help make this a structured and seamless process and to de-risk those engagements. And then, they're there for scaling your teams as well and scaling our partners. Our partners have access to the Cloud Accelerate Factory as well.
That's amazing. So, like you said, we build a lot of curiosity now.
Yeah.
Now, what are the things that customers can really take advantage of? You touched on some of those things, like moving from SQL Server to modernizing. So, what are the things that you offer as part of either the big umbrella CSU or the Cloud Accelerate Factory?
Yeah, I'll touch on Cloud Accelerate Factory a little bit, and we'll talk specifically about Fabric and Lakehouse migration. I think that's probably the folks online, the folks in the audience are more interested.
Very interested.
Yeah.
Yes.
But as I said, it does span across all of our data. This is SQLCon. We're here at SQLCon. It spans across all of our database offerings as well. We'll do homogeneous and heterogeneous migrations. You have an Oracle database, you want to migrate to Postgres, we'll help you get it done. You want to migrate Postgres to Postgres, you want to migrate Oracle to SQL, we're here to get that done as well. So it spans across all of our database offerings. It spans across our infrastructure. And the team is doing some really amazing stuff now. We're doing agentic app modernization, migrating hundreds of applications at a time, and not just migrating them, but actually upgrading them. Going from old versions of .NET and
That's
Java into modern, and then bringing the databases along as well. And so we're really pushing the boundaries of even what migration and modernization looks like. As it relates to Fabric, we started this journey really to get customers migrated from Power BI premium SKU to F SKU. That was the first thing that customers had to do to onboard to the Fabric. And we've probably done well over 1,000 of those, it feels like, in the last
a
2
lot.
years. And while that is somewhat of a trivial migration from our standpoint, so many customers are concerned about that journey because we hear this all the time. Hey, these dashboards my CEO uses every single day, they cannot go down, right? And so just giving customers the comfort of that P to F SKU migration has been a huge piece of it. But as you can see, we also do medallion architecture, lakehouse, data warehouse migration. We're doing a lot of Synapse to Fabric migration now, particularly in collaboration with our partners. We're doing this jointly with our partners, where our partners will lead the engagement and they'll leverage the factory for some of the delivery. And then there's other things as well, like data agents, real-time intelligence, which I can talk about. But these are some of the core components, and particularly in Lakehouse and data warehouse,
Mhm.
getting that foundation of one lake, bronze, silver, gold established, making sure that some of these data sources are migrated, mirrored, or shortcutted into the one lake, and building some of these initial Power BI reports so people can see that end-to-end journey is part of what we do.
Perfect. So you build a lot of excitement at Fabric Tech Talk Fridays. We just don't do the talk; we walk the talk.
Yeah.
So do you have a demo that you
Sure.
can show, one of the accelerators or framework that you put together, Stephen?
Yeah, I think we have one in one slide. I'll just really
Go for it.
mention
Yeah.
real-time intelligence very quickly. This is one of the services that's been newer in Fabric. In my personal opinion, it's the most differentiated service. It's the one that I think nobody on the market really has, and that's RTI. And we've seen a lot of amazing stories this year with that. You guys heard some of that. Coca-Cola came and shared their story and journey on RTI this year. That was actually done by the factory.
Oh, that's amazing.
And so we've been really helping customers reimagine some of their real-time processes that I think all of us built a lot of those probably in databases over the years because
Mm.
that's what we had. And now we have a purpose-built solution for that. The thing that I did mention, which I know you want to get to, is
Uh-huh.
the accelerators and assets. We've started to open source many of those for our community.
That's
So
gonna be very crucial.
yeah, AI, analytics across all of them, we're starting to make some of those public. And one of those was the metadata-driven framework. So before I play this, I'll just tell you a little bit about this metadata. I think metadata-driven data integration is now a big part of the patterns of how you bring data into modern data warehouses and modern systems. And so our team actually built a metadata-driven framework to help us accelerate our own project deployments. And then this actually was used when Gartner was evaluating Fabric's position in the Magic Quadrant. So we have a little demo video here to show this to you, and then we'll also share some of the other areas and links where you
Perfect.
can find it.
Let's go.
Let's explore how Microsoft Fabric's unified AI powered data platform simplifies data management and analytics to unlock transformative value from data. Let's start by visualizing the end to end lakehouse implementation with medallion architecture using TaskFlow. TaskFlow not only clarifies relationships across workspace items, but also boosts team collaboration by standardizing workflows and keeping design and development in sync. Let's review the metadata driven ingestion pipeline. Building an effective lakehouse starts with establishing a robust ingestion layer. Here we have a lookup activity that powers a metadata-driven ingestion process by dynamically looking for control metadata and executes downstream data ingestion processes accordingly. Fabric Data Pipelines offers built-in notifications via Outlook and Teams using dynamic expressions to deliver timely, customized updates throughout pipeline execution in event of success or failure, ensuring timely, tailored updates for the operations during all critical events. Let's take a look into the observability dashboard for insights. The dashboard leverages Okta metadata and Power BI to present data ingestion status, data consistency verifications, and key audit and operational metadata details, all of which facilitate efficient issue identification and resolution. Additionally, these technical and operational metadata can be accessed via REST API for seamless external integrations. The observability dashboards consolidate various data connectivity mechanisms, including options for data virtualization, using shortcuts and mirroring for data replication, into a unified interface for monitoring. Let's go back to our task flow. Next, we will validate the data and perform PII identification and mask data in order to protect customers' confidential information into downstream reporting. Here is a notebook which is powered through the control metadata and dynamically transforms data using reusable functions. This includes PII identification and masking using Fabric AI functions. Bringing it all together, integrating the entire medallion architecture into a unified end-to-end observability dashboard enables comprehensive monitoring. This solution leverages operational metadata and audit logs collecting through the enrichment and serving phases of the lakehouse architecture to facilitate effective issue identification and resolution. The data quality dashboard provides real-time visibility into data integrity, lineage, and compliance, empowering teams to quickly detect and address anomalies across complex data environments.
Now, this is amazing. What I noticed in the demo is the silver, bronze, gold medallion architecture really flowing seamlessly as part of the metadata-driven framework, Stephen. So again, this is available for folks to use and leverage for their own
Yeah.
benefit.
Yeah, and this is just an example of the kind of things that we've been building as we were doing more and more customer projects. We identify gaps, we identify solutions, we build those, and a lot of these now get shipped back into product as well. So that's part of
Perfect.
it.
Now, the CTA. Where do anybody get started? Where are the publicly available assets for folks to consume?
Yeah, we'll absolutely include a link, a little bit about a QR code that'll share a little bit about Factory, how you can engage with Factory. And so if you reach out to your Microsoft partner or your account team, they can help you engage with Factory. And we'll also include a link so you can find out our publicly available assets as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time today, Stephen. This is going to be very revolutionizing for some of the organizations trying to make that step.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.
What a conversation. Everything you've been watching here was captured live at FabCon and SequelCon in Atlanta, from the interviews to the demos to the community insights that make these events so special. If you're into Microsoft Fabric, SQL, and the future of data, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. And speaking of next, we're taking this show to Barcelona. FabCon and SequelCon Barcelona are happening this September 2026, and it's going to be packed with big announcements, deep technical sessions, and one amazing global data community. Hit the link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen to register and use code FABTV to save €200 off your ticket. As always, thank you so much for watching. Keep being awesome, and we'll see you in the next one.